Hey everyone, today I want to talk about experience versus drive, because as an entrepreneur you always go out and people talk about, hey, you are a first-time entrepreneur, you're a person, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're doing, which is very valid because I always say, even though you can be smart and young, would you invest in yourself or yourself 10 years from now? And obviously 10 years from now you're going to be way better than whatever you're doing. You have stronger network, stronger connection, you have better everything, right? So it's natural for people to want to invest in someone who's older and more experienced. However, I do want to point out that I feel a lot of people, when they get more experience, they lose a lot of their drive. Right? And some of the things about entrepreneur, obviously direction is very important. It's very, very important, and that comes from experience. But a lot of it's drive. For instance, sometimes you need to email 100 people in your industry to get it right. And if you're experienced and you feel like, hey, you have a successful startup, you have 2 successful startups, you don't have that drive in you anymore. You feel like, hey, I'm just doing fun, I would like this to be successful, but you don't want to really sit down and just email the 100 people, or even 500 people that you need. But if you are a first-timer and you are living on $10 a day, which I was for a little while, still somewhere around that. If you're living on $10 a day, it's a do or die situation. You have to email all 500 people you want to. So I feel like as people become more successful, as they get older and older, when they run a startup, 1, they demand more pay, they need a mortgage, they need to support a family, and 2, they don't have that drive. They just do everything that's solid and basic. They probably still put in a lot of hours, but they refuse to do a lot of the trucking work, right? Just sending emails, doing the grunt work, doing all that stuff. And they probably prefer to hire others to do it. They're like, oh, I'm wealthy, I can hire. And that may or may not be the best strategy for a startup, because the whole idea of a startup is to be lean. So I feel like one possible really good thing to do is to either have 2 founders on the team, one with a lot of experience, 1, 2 successful startups, and the other person just a first-time entrepreneur, someone who has a lot of drive, who's willing to do a lot of work, so a lot to put himself out there and work day and night, all-nighters and all that stuff. The others, I think the good balance is some, second-time entrepreneurs who have failed a business or even 2 businesses, and they're working together. So they have experience, they know some pitfalls, they have built their networks, they know how to market their stuff, but they're not successful yet, they're still poor, and so they have that drive, and they want to go out and do a lot of stuff and make a difference in this world. So if you're going to invest in someone, are you going to invest in someone with experience or drive? You find the balance.